They say giving is better than receiving. This holiday season, nothing rang more true for a local college student who traveled across the country to potentially save a person's life. We'd like to welcome Emily Hathcock, who's just become a stem cell donor. It's great to have you.
Thank y'all for having me.
So your journey to becoming a stem cell donor was one that was inspired by your mom. Tell us more about this.
My mom, she works in healthcare. She's a nurse. She has been my inspiration for everything. She actually was on the registry and hasn't gotten the call, but she encouraged me as soon as I could join, and she's my role model.
And this is the Be the Match registry that we're talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
So you've become now an advocate for others to sign on and to sign up to become a potential donor, which sounds very easy, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But so your mother's a nurse. She was part of this registry. She encouraged you. How long did it take by the time you signed up to when you became a match for somebody?
So it didn't take very long. I thought I was not going to get a call. You know, I joined the registry. I was like, if they need me, they need me. If they don't, they don't. It was a little over a year that it took me to get the call. And honestly, I was in shock when I did get the call.
Were you?
Yeah. And
did your mom have to have a few words with you? Because I want to ask you this, and I think it's a legitimate question, that, you know, people have very altruistic reasons to sign up, become a donor, but then they're not really thinking they're going to get that call. When they do, they get cold feet. So did you find that you were sort of getting cold feet, or did your mom have to talk to you and convince you to just go follow through with this, or you always knew you did?
I have had no reservations about the entire thing. I mean, when they called me, I couldn't answer the first call, so then they called my mom, and they were texting me, emailing me, and everything. I cried.
You did?
I said yes 5 million times on that phone call, because over 50% of people who get the call don't go through with it, which is understandable because sometimes medical things happen, and then some people get cold feet because they don't understand the process is so easy. But I haven't had any reservations about it.
You were shocked, but you were prepared, mentally, emotionally. Now, you didn't do the donation here. You had to travel quite far to do the procedure. Tell us where you went.
I went to Seattle, Washington.
And why Seattle, Washington? So he's a man somewhere in the world, not necessarily there, but that's where you had to go for the procedure.
So it kind of just depends on timing and if they have appointments there, but Seattle, Washington, I believe is where their original donation center is. So we're not exactly sure why. It's really cool that it ended up being there, because my donor specialist, she ended up calling me and was like, yeah, we want to take you to Seattle. And me and my mom were like,
we get to see the Space Needle. You get to get to travel a little bit.
It was cool.
Yeah. How do you feel now that you've made the donation, and what was the process like? Was it difficult? Did you have to heal? What goes into a stem cell donation exactly? So
it's a lot less complicated than people think. You know, sometimes people think of donation as surgery, and that's the scary part. And there is surgery. They can choose a surgery route. But now the stem cell donation is becoming more frequent because the power of stem cells is incredible. But one needle goes in one arm, and then another goes in the other arm, and they take blood from you. They circle it through a machine, and it filters out these cells. And then they return what you need back into your body. So they're not taking anything from you that you don't need. And so they give you some medicine before that boosts that count. So you have millions of stem cells that they're collecting. Recovery-wise, I was tired after, which makes sense, but I feel great. I mean, afterwards, I really wasn't feeling like I was like, wow, I don't feel that tired. I feel pretty good. But my nurse was so awesome. I bruised on one arm, but that was because I was able to move it during donation. But now that you sit here today, despite the bruises and the tiredness, and how do you feel having made that donation, knowing that you've helped someone potentially live a life that they didn't think that they would? It's kind of hard to grasp sometimes. I wrote my first letter. We can write anonymous letters to each other yesterday. And, you know, I didn't cry when I wrote it, but I cried when I read it. I can't comprehend it sometimes. I'm honored that I got to do that. I would do it a million times over again if I could.
And just to share with you all how easy it is, all it takes is a cheek swab. You enter the registry, you're in there, you're locked in. They call you when they need you, and otherwise you just live your life as best you can. But I also want to let everyone know that Emily has a bright future ahead of her. The apple does not fall far from the tree. She's going to follow in her mother's footsteps to a degree, but you're actually pre-med at Wofford. So congratulations on that. And what kind of medicine do you think you might want to practice?
Now that I've gone through this, oncology, but I'm interested in neurosurgery. I'm keeping an open mind, but
keeping an open mind.
Anything in medicine, anything.
Emily, thank you so much for talking with us, and we're going to provide all the information on Be the Match so that you all can join as well. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
And Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
We're back after this.